Welcome you all to my YouTube lecture on exploratory data analysis. Myself Navina, Assistant Professor IT Department from Nanda College of Technology. So what is this exploratory data analysis? So we can analyze the data based on various numerical methods and graphical tools. That is called exploratory data analysis. Why do we need this? So we need this for patterns, trends, and for the underlying architecture. So it will be deviating among the trends, the anomalies, and so on. Which will also provide us unexpected as well as confirming the expected. So we can also discover what is not expected. We can also confirm what we are expecting. In other words, we can say exploratory data analysis is an approach for data analysis which employs a variety of techniques, mainly the graphical techniques. So in 1977, in Bell Labs, so based on the insights in 60s, they found out this exploratory data analysis. It provides the techniques for visualizing and summarizing the data. It gives us what can the data tell us. So based on this exploratory data analysis, there are many techniques such as summary, 5-number summary, box plots, stem leaf diagrams. So what is the 5-number summary? It gives us the extreme, that is the minimum and the maximum. It gives us the median and the quartiles. It gives us most robust to the long tail distribution. So the main objective of this exploratory data analysis is to give a maximum insight into a data set, to uncover the underlying the architecture. It extracts the important variables, it detects the anomalies and outliers, it tests the underlying assumptions, and it develops valid models. It also determines the optimal factor settings. So what is the aim? The goal of this is to explore the data. So like it is a detective work. We are detecting something. We are getting the clues. Okay. So the confirmatory data analysis will access the strength of the evidence. So first we have to do the exploratory data analysis. Then only we can go for confirmatory data analysis. So you can see the difference between these two. So in exploratory data analysis, we don't have any hypothesis, but in confirmatory data analysis, we start with an hypothesis. And this exploratory data analysis, it will generate this hypothesis. The confirmatory data analysis, it will test the null hypothesis. The exploratory data analysis, it uses various graphical methods mostly, whereas the confirmatory data analysis, it uses statistical models. So how to do this analysis? First, we have to generate good research questions. Then we have to restructure the data. Okay. For this purpose, we may need new variables. Okay. Instead of having two variables, we can create rates or percentages from the two variables. So we can also create dummy variables for the categorical data. So based on the research questions what we are asking, we can use the graphical tools which is appropriate for that, and we can get the descriptive statistics. So based on the statistics, we can understand what is the data structure, the relationship between them, the anomalies and unexpected behaviors. We are also trying to find the confounding variables, the interaction relations and the multi-correlatority. So we can also handle the missing observations. So we can decide on the need of transformation and also decide on the hypothesis based on these research questions. So after doing the exploratory data analysis, we have to do the confirmatory data analysis. That is, we have created a hypothesis there. We have to verify the hypothesis by statistical methods, and we have to get the conclusions and present it. So we can classify this EDA. It is classified in two ways. First one is each method is either non-graphical or graphical. Second one is each method is unvariate or multivariate. So when you use non-graphical methods, it is like calculating the summary statistics. The graphical methods, it will summarize the data in a pictorial way. As we all know, graph means it will give some pictures. So the unvariate methods, it will be looking at only one variable at a time, whereas multivariate methods, it will be looking two or more variables at a time to provide the relationship. So our multivariate exploratory data analysis will be bivariate. That is exactly it will be looking at two variables. Sometimes it will be involving three or more variables. So it is a good idea to perform univariate EDA. So before performing the multivariate, we should do at least univariate, then only we have to move on for multivariate. Let's see some examples. First one, we are getting a data for places rated Almanac, Boyer and Savagio. So we have 9 variables, 329 metropolitan areas in USA. So it gives us the climate minus, housing cost, healthcare environment, crime, transportation supply, educational opportunities and efforts, arts and culture facilities, recreational opportunities, personal economic look. So based on these things, we can identify the latitude and longitude of each city. The next example is, from these example we can say what are the questions initially we are going to give is how is the climate related to the location? Are there clusters in the data? Are there cities nearby which are similar to the city? And are there any relation between the economic outlook and crime? Like that we can have some questions. Next one, when we are doing some breast cancer research, we ask questions such as, does any treatment method result in high survival rate? Can a particular treatment method can be suggested to women with specific characteristic? Is there any difference between patients in terms of survival rate? Like we can have the white women are likely to survive when we compare to black women when they having in the same stage of disease. We can ask questions like this. Next example is, we can investigate the well-being of a teenager after an economic hardship. The questions can be, is there any positive effect of the economic problems? What other factors related to distress of these teenagers? What is their age? What is their gender? And so on. Next is, when we consider the cancer cases in USA based on cancer registry, the rows are called the observations, that is the ID, 6, age, date and site. They correspond to individual values. So what is a variable? A variable is an identifier. For example, it can be a patient number or the measurement date like that. So what is the attributes of studies chart? So what is the baseline? So we can have the enrollment date, the demographics, the prior disease history, and assign treatment. What is the outcome variable? This can be a studies chart. Attribute measured at subsequent times. As we go on in our calculations, we can measure some attributes which can change over time or the outcome variable.